Comedy Shorts Gamer, Deji, Tank. This is an evolution like no other we've seen here on the platform. A man who's almost never mentioned without mention of his brother as well, which often overshadows his own success story. But yesterday we witnessed a performance that could not be overshadowed. A wildly impressive showcase of precision, flow, comfortability, and power. Let's get into it. In Deji's last 3 fights, we saw a timid, unmotivated, faint young man, simply trying to catch up with the path and drive of his brother. But yesterday we saw a Deji whose path broke away into its own lane. And perhaps it was his fear of the unknown, being that his last 3 opponents were all making their debut, that weighed him down all along. I'm sure we could chalk his losses up to a multitude of reasons. His feeling of maybe being overshadowed, his general lack of motivation and laziness, simply following in his brother's footsteps into something that he himself may have not been very invested in, but felt like he had to, not because he's a follower, but because that's his older brother. I mean, that's typically the big bro, little bro dynamic. Maybe following the course of his brother just felt familiar to him, but combat and bloodlust were certainly unfamiliar to him. I think it's no secret that before, Deji was the least ambitious between the two, but maybe here we're witnessing a turning point. He knew this time what he was working with. He had a bout to study. He could already envision his opponent beaten and damaged because it's already been done before. But Fuzi had every right to still be perceived as a threat. Everybody saw and raved about his amazing physical transformation, and he was training at Jackrabbit Boxing alongside Ashton and another YouTuber, Dean the Great, whose stories I've actually all been following for years now, and it was so trippy to see Fuzi in there training alongside some incredibly talented guys. Deji had no reason to believe he'd just roll right over Fuzi. At the end of the day, Deji lost 3 times. Where would a sudden boost of confidence and energy come from? The truth is, I don't think it was sudden. Each loss taught him a new lesson about himself: death of the ego, separation from the shadow, physical transformation, mental transformation. These, alongside many other lessons I'm sure he's learned, all played a role in this spectacular victory. These lessons hardened him. They are what turned him into Tank, a name no longer given, but earned. He withstood the embarrassment, the disappointment, the fire he's felt from his previous battles. He endured and still came out guns blazing, just like a tank. I think this story is a beautiful lesson on how to receive loss, how to internalize it, the importance of consistency, taking things seriously and never just half-assing them. In some routes in life, there is no easy path, and fighting is certainly one of them. As somebody who comes from a background of MMA myself, trust me, I know what it takes out of somebody to not only step in there and fight, but to lose and come back and do it again. He's gone through that terrible experience 3 times. He's let his fans and family down 3 times. And most importantly, he let himself down 3 times. Not everybody gets it right on the first try. Not everybody gets it right on the second, or even the third. And it's okay to fail as long as you gave it your all and learn from your mistakes and do better next time. But this wasn't the case at first for him. It seemed like instead of working harder, he chose to take on easier opponents. Like dying repeatedly in a video game and then just going to the menu to change the difficulty instead of learning and beating it on the difficulty you've already got it set on, making the hard parts feel easy. He wanted to win a boxing match whilst also being able to maintain his comfortability, eat how he wanted, spend his free time how he wanted, etc. But you've got to live and breathe a sport like this. It's a lifestyle. If you're not fully immersed, then you're in for a rude awakening come time to fight, which is exactly what happened. Comparing your path to everybody else's and chasing behind them will leave you chasing behind shadows with a face full of dust. Halfway dedicating yourself to a world where people are training to put your lights out will leave you facing loss repeatedly. The difference in everything between his last performance and this most recent one speaks more to his growth and evolution than I think anything else can. His hands down style, eyes locked in, head movement, counter shots, snapping Fuzi's head back repeatedly, leaving his face bloody, eyes swollen, never biting too hard for the kill, the patience, letting the victory come to him. There couldn't have been a more perfect performance. He was no longer chasing it. he let it come to him. I don't keep up with Deji as much as I used to when I was younger these days, but I wanted to make this to show everybody what true hard work and consistency can do for you. When you stop cutting corners and fully submerge yourself in whatever endeavor you choose to pursue and all the pain that comes with it, embrace the pain, embrace the work, embrace the journey, and keep going. I noticed in the post-fight, and you could just look at his body, that he changed the way he ate, and he even mentioned that he had somebody making meals for him, and that's important. I want everyone to really pay attention to that note, because it's not always just mental, it's not always just physical when it comes to these things. It's oftentimes a mix of both. You need to be physically and mentally prepared for your endeavors, and remember that what you put in is what you'll put out. I really hope that if you take anything away from this video, it is that lesson right there, because I feel that that is incredibly important and overlooked in life for people. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and sub if you did. Comment your thoughts below if you're new here. Welcome to the channel. I have a bunch of gaming videos you guys might like, check out the other videos, and Instagram's in the description. And yeah, guys, peace.